And we're live. What's happening, everyone? Nicky Hawkins here, West Ham Fan TV. Now, I'm just sitting here editing a few things for the channel for the next week or so with the last game of the season quickly approaching, last home game of the season quickly approaching, and last away game of the season quite quickly approaching. I'm just sitting here editing the podcast, editing a few things, getting ready for that. And the news broke that Declan Rice has been offered a brand new 8-year deal worth £200,000 a week. It's a record-breaking deal for West Ham. Jim White on TalkSport broke the news. Surprise, surprise. And yeah, it's apparently Declan's been offered this 8-year deal worth £200,000 a week. I've never heard of a £200,000 a week 8-year deal before in my life. It rises with inflation as well, but the early indications is Declan's going to refuse his contract, and because he believes he can get £300,000 to £400,000 a week elsewhere. Now, I'm sorry for being a skeptic, but I'm going to call bullshit on this one. I don't think it's about the money. 8 years is a contract that it's worth £83.4 million or something to Declan Rice. He's always sort of reiterated that his desire isn't for money, it's for trophies. So when the news is coming out, I was going to refuse it because, he feels he can get more money elsewhere. I don't think it's about the money. I don't think it's about the money. It's about, for me, this is about the owners putting this back onto Declan Rice. I remember the last contract negotiations that happened with Declan Rice. They leaked every single detail of his contract that was offered to try and make the kid look greedy. Look, the kid's he's gonna end up leaving us. He's not gonna stay for 8 years. Even if they sign this 8-year contract, it's all about getting a maximum amount of money for him. £200,000 a week. It sounds a lot of money to you and me, but in a footballer's world, if you're at the top of the game, he can probably demand more elsewhere. But I don't think it's about money. It's about trophies for Declan. Listen, we've had a bit of a boost from Declan this week, where he's sort of turned around at the player awards and said, let's get ready and I'll see you next season. So I don't think Declan will leave this year. But what I do think is I think Declan thinks that the price tag we've put on him, although we're entitled to do so, is a little bit high, because he wants to, go somewhere and win trophies. I think the only realistic chance we've got of keeping Declan Rice at this club is not to throw pound notes at him. It's to throw pound notes at signings that could get us into positions where we could compete with trophies, which is going to be very, very difficult right now. Seeing as, the likes of Newcastle, and you see what's happening at City, and Man United are going to be spending again, and it looks like Arsenal may spend some money. But an 8-year deal, £200,000 a week, for me is virtue signaling. They don't mean that, and it's just a brow to beat Declan Rice with when he refuses it, saying, "Oh well, we tried." The plan is always to sell Declan Rice for as much money as they can get. And if he signed that contract, they're pretty much guaranteed to get top dollar. His contract is running down after next year. It'll be down to 2 years or a year and a year extension, which starts to lower his value. It's not something that they're expecting him to sign. It's something where if they decide to sell him, they can turn around and say, well, we tried to keep the kid here. It's a shame, really. It's a shame because, if it was, proper intention to keep him, Jim White wouldn't know about it. And that's what I would say. That it's all, as I say, it's all a game, these things with football clubs and journalists and all that sort of thing. It's all a game. He's not signing an 8-year deal. He doesn't want to. He wants to win trophies. It's not about the money for Declan Rice. If it was about the money, we should offer him as much as we can to build it around. So I don't think he'll leave this year. but I do believe his ambition lies elsewhere when it comes to trophies. The only way we've got to keep him, don't worry about offering Declan Rice £83 million at this moment in time. Go and get out and get some signings and get some decent players in to start competing with, the likes. Look, we fell short this season because of squad depth. There's no, there's no doubt about it. So squad depth has cost us a place maybe in the top 4, but we need to start competing, which is going to be more and more difficult. Let's take some of your comments. Basozuku says 8 years is a bit much. Watching from where the fuck did that? Burundi? I don't know where that is, mate. Boys, thumbs up. To whom Declan is offered? Yes, please, says Fobar. 8 years, that's kidnapping. Typical owner sending out fake news. Hope he takes it. We have to build a team around him. It must be season ticket renewal time. Why the hell will he sign an 8-year contract? He will turn it down. It's not the money. I remember Winston Reid getting offered a 6-year contract. That was unheard of at the time. To sell him and sell the club next year, who would you rather get top 4, Arsenal or Spurs? Don't give a shit. We can't give him what he needs. Better players around him and better opportunities to win trophies. We can, but we won't. Problem is, where could Declan go? United are a mess. Liverpool don't spend big, and City have enough cover there. Gazza's just laughing. Hammer Bakes, totally agree. It's time and trophies that are important. He's willing to give us another season or so and leave and go on and be one of the best. 8 years. No one had ever accepted a contract offer of that length. Maybe it was 2-year, 3-year extension. It's a hard one for me. 200k a week seems way too much. They said it could be up to 10 years as well, which is fucking mental. Seems way too much because that's cup winners' wages, but I think we can make the exception with Dec. It's not nowadays, mate. It's, good players are on that much. GSB definitely not doing anything involved with ambition. It boils to lack of ambition at his club. Can we sell the owners? Instead, I'm sure we can get a few turnips and a goat for them. 8 years is a bit too long, as you were saying, mate. It's a bit of a concern. This info has got out. It's not. Listen, it's a game. It's a game. At the end of the day, we'll never be able to compete with you when you've got rich oil companies owning their clubs. Football's far removed from their supporters, so untrue. It's a hard one for me. £200,000 a week seems way too much for him. That's the kind of wages you give to cup winners or world class, but we can make an exception with Declan. I hope Dec stays beyond 2024. Let's sign some more players. Exactly, Nicky. Sounds like the poison dwarf is at it yet again. Yeah, so listen, that's the news. Look, we'll be back breaking all through the summer with news and stuff like that. We've got a couple of good shows planned, like daily shows, so keep tuned for them. But yeah, as we're building up towards Man City, make sure you keep it locked. Make sure you turn that notification bell on. Go and buy some of our merchandise. We've got these t-shirts and hoodies in the store. I'm just about to upload the podcast to the Patreon. So if you're a patron, it will be available within the next couple of hours. So go and catch that. And if you're not, consider joining, support the channel, and get some more content while you're there. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. 8-year deal. Are they having a laugh? Are they serious? Do you think Declan would sign anything right now? Realistically, I don't think he will. But yeah, just as I say, leave your comments in the comment section down below. Let us know. One thing left to say from me, come on, you Irons.